Hey guys, welcome back to another video or another podcast episode, I should say. This is Pruett and Pressley. I'm Blaine, your co-host,
And I'm Cole, the other host.
and today we're going to be talking about the quarterback carousel that has took the league by storm this offseason. A lot of moves, a lot of new starting quarterbacks, a lot of new backups. Me and Cole picked out what we thought were the best moves of the offseason or the biggest moves to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of hot takes at the end. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is an exciting episode.
We're going to start with Daniel Jones. This is the Colts signing, and I thought it was an overpay. 2 years, 88 million for a guy who I think hasn't gone over the hump and hasn't proved himself. One career playoff win, was drafted in 2018 out of Duke in the first round, so he's expected to be a high ceiling player. And he was great last year. I will say he was great before he got injured, but you're banking on that year to happen every year with that payment they gave him, and I feel like he can never stay healthy, and it's just a big pay. So I'll see how that works out for the Colts, but I didn't like the deal in my opinion.
So yeah, we didn't get to see too much of him last year. It's going to be exciting to kind of see a full year of Daniel Jones with the Colts. He's going to have one less piece because Michael Pittman got traded to the Steelers. But he's still going to have Alec Pierce. He's still going to have Jonathan Taylor, and that defense looks good with Sauce Gardner. So I'm excited to see what Daniel Jones does this season. Um, Moving to the next one, we got Kyler Murray. He got himself a vet minimum deal with the Vikings. He's gonna be competing with JJ for that job. I think it's pretty much a lock. He's going to win that job. His stats don't look good last year if you're looking at those. It's just not. It's not what you want to see out of your franchise guy, and that's why the Cardinals got rid of him. I did think it was a bad move for the Cardinals to get rid of him, but he's a two-time Pro Bowler. He's 2019 Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it made sense to get rid of him at that time. Um, but he's gonna be able to really do something with this Vikings team. He's got an amazing coach. He has good pieces around him, good running backs. You got JJ McCarthy. I'm sorry, excuse me. You have Justin Jefferson, and then he's going to be competing with JJ McCarthy. I don't see JJ McCarthy getting far. Do you have anything else to add there, Cole?
I mean, he's got the weapons around him with Jefferson, Jennings, Addison, and Kevin O'Connell, and Hawkinson. Like, if you got to do something with these weapons, in my opinion. I think it's a good deal. Well, I mean, he obviously is a good player, so I think it's a good deal. The next one, we have the Packers. Well, he was on the Packers. He went to the Dolphins, and Titans ended up drafting him in 2022 in like the third round, and he didn't do anything there. He was just a career backup, pretty much. Was good in the Packers the past 2 years, and he filled in with love. Last year, he really went over the hump, and they played the Bears. It was like a couple days before Christmas. He had a great game. The Dolphins spent a lot of money for this player, but that's what you have to do for QBs. And his upside is there. He has high upside, elusive mobile quarterback. The only thing that's bad about this deal is you go and sign him, but you give away all your receivers. You get a new coach, not even an offensive minded head coach. It's a good deal, sure, but I feel like they're gonna get a top three pick and they're gonna move on from him, even though it's not even his fault, in my opinion.
I agree. And he's one of those guys that we've seen fall in 2022.
Yeah,
Um, Kenny Pickett was the only one drafted in the first round, and I was really high on Malik Willis then. I did a mock draft with a guy on Instagram, and I had him going in the first round of the Steelers. So it's fine. It's good to finally see him becoming something.
yeah,
But what I wanted to mention was it's like this deal is huge, and I even texted you about that. Why pay a dude that we've only seen in this limited role as a backup
yeah,
so much money? But you got to pay if you want somebody. If you don't want him to, you don't have to pay him 40 million. So you got to pay, and they're going to pay and take that risk and see if it works out for them. So I respect the move.
yeah.
So next, we've got Aaron Rodgers. This is a big move for the Steelers, bringing back the four-time MVP, one-time Super Bowl champion, pairing him back up with Mike McCarthy. Of course, Mike Tomlin retired. 1 year, 22 million. I think that's good pay. He had a good season last year. If you look at those stats, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 3,300 yards. I look for him to do better than that this season. I think he'll probably have about 4,000 yards, maybe 30 touchdowns, probably about the same interceptions. So I'm excited to see him again in the black and gold. It's always fun to see that. So that it's going to be interesting to see what the Steelers are able to do with an older Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he's not getting any younger. He's a year older. Do you have anything to add about Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, he's just an all-time quarterback. You can't hate the move, to be honest. It's just a legend in the building.
Yep, I agree.
Next, we have Geno Smith. I mean, Seahawks. He started his career with the Jets. Obviously, wasn't well. Went to the Seahawks, renewed. He did it right back. He said, and he was pretty decent for the Seahawks. I mean, great game manager is what he does. It's what he's always been. But went to the Raiders last year and it just went downhill. You like the yards, you like the touchdowns, but look how many picks he throws. He's not a good decision maker. I think it was the worst QBR by a quarterback that started a minimum of 14 games. It was 34. That's an awful QBR. The passer rating is it's just not that well either. But you get a change of scenery. You go to the Jets offense, who you got guys like Garrett Wilson. You got guys like Brees Hall. They revamped the O line. Aaron Glenn's second year head coach. Maybe he takes a step forward. Their defense is still okay. I think the Jets offense. I'm not saying the Jets are gonna be a good team, but I think their offense will be better. And I think Gino would still be serviceable. We're looking at like probably 3,000 yards again with like 20 touchdowns. I think he'll tone down the picks to like 14. He's just gotta be a smarter decision maker. It's not a good signing, not a bad signing. It's they're preparing for next year.
I
Is what I'll
agree.
say.
It's a veteran move. And when you want a veteran, it was either Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson, I think, still on the table. We're going to talk about that later. Stay tuned for that. Um, but there's a lot of those guys out there, and Geno Smith is a guy who's done it. And we've seen him do it consistently the past few years as that backup or as that vet starter. He is that guy that's going to take you for the bridge year. You're not going to win that many games, but he's going to do just enough to where your fans might still watch. So I
Yeah.
think I think it was an okay move for them. They didn't give up too much to get him. So I'm not mad about that move. So next up we have Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett was already on a contract. But we are going to mention him because he is sitting out of camp right now, looking for a bigger contract. He wants a better salary, because he's their starter now. He's not just a backup sitting there. So he threw 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And he gave a 94.1 passer rating. So I think it's interesting, to see. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see how he does as full time starter. Um,
Uh, I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's a game manager, lifelong backup. But this is the team especially that's looking forward next year, like the Arch Manning and first round, like
yeah,
first overall QB. That's what they're looking for. Their offense is great. Like you got Marvin Harrison, you got Michael Wilson, big dude. He's great. They went out and got Kendrick Bourne. They drafted Jeremiah Love. They got Tyler Algier. The offense is insane. Like that's not the problem. They once they get a real QB, and he's like you said, a bridge quarterback is what he'll be.
do you think he can win 8 or 9 games?
No, that's good. I think they have the hardest schedule. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, they do have.
They're looking at max 3 wins, especially in
Yeah,
that division.
yeah, they do have a rough schedule. Um, so I'm gonna let you talk about this one. This is a pretty big move.
Yeah. Next guy being Tua, he see his problem is just the injuries. He gets concussions and it just messes him up. He's not a really good decision maker. If you ever watch his games, he gives the ball to Tyreek, Achan, or Waddle. He likes the short, quick passes like a slant, and he lets the playmakers do the work. I mean, that's all you have to do as a quarterback, to be honest. Like he's not going to do too much. But I don't mind the move. They already have Penix, so that's another lefty QB they're going to have in the building. So the coaching can work with it. They have the weapons on offense. You got guys like Drake London. They lost Mooney, but you got Bijan, probably the best running back in the league. And they have Kyle Pitts, who's starting to come into his own now. And it's not a horrible move, not expensive,
I
and
don't
the division's
know.
not hard. But
I don't
yeah,
know that Tua can win a competition against Michael Penix. Now, I
yeah, that's
think
the tough thing.
my issue here, or an issue Falcons fans are going to have, is Tua's going to get in there. He's probably going to have to start the first 2 to 4 games. I think. I don't think
Yeah,
Michael is on track to start. Um, and if he even does remotely well, it's going to be hard to pull him. Because if you have consistent quarterback play as the Falcons, which you haven't had since Matt Ryan left, and you didn't really have it before Ryan left those last few years, if you have consistent quarterback play, you don't pull that guy if you're their coach. They've got a
Yeah.
good head coach now. Kevin Stefanski's a good head coach.
Yes. He's good. He was
Um,
great with the Browns. He's a
yeah,
two-time coach of the year.
he should have not been let go from the Browns. I understand that there was some decision making issues, but most of that was on the GM, not on him. So you got a good head coach, you got a good core there. It's going to be exciting to see which quarterback brings in. Somebody's got to bring it home. Somebody's got to
Yeah.
be that guy for the Falcons. And if that's Tua, that's great for him. He's a guy that I think everybody can get behind and rally behind, especially with his health issues recently. I know that a lot of
Yeah.
people have like this love-hate relationship with Tua. We hate him and we talk bad about him on social media, but when you actually see the person, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's somebody we can rally behind when he's playing good football. So, Kirk Cousins, speaking of Falcons, um, Kirk Cousins got released from the Falcons, signs with the Raiders. He spoke to a couple other teams, including the Steelers. He didn't have the best season last year. Those last couple games he come into, he played pretty well. His contract was just too big for the Falcons to keep him as that veteran guy sitting behind Michael Penix. But he is a good backup quarterback, a great backup quarterback. He's a good
Yeah.
bridge quarterback. I don't know that he will get to start the season. I haven't heard much talk about him or Fernando, but it's gonna be interesting to see, if he does get to come in the game, is he going to be better than Geno Smith was last year, or is it going to be similar quarterback play to what we've seen with Geno Smith? But Kirk Cousins is a great guy, great football player. So I'm excited to see where this year takes him.
Yeah. He's great. I just feel like he's not as mobile and he just has to sit in the pocket. And
Yeah,
sometimes his decision making's bad. He throws picks, I feel a lot, returns like he gets strip sacked a lot.
yeah,
But the start of 2024, when he first with the Falcons, he was the guy that was swag surfing with the crowd. They were in the division lead. They took down the Bucks on a great Thursday night football game where he had 500 yards passing and like four touchdowns with the game-winning touchdown.
yep,
That's the Kirk Cousins the Raiders want to mentor Mendoza, get Mendoza NFL ready.
yep. I agree. So the Chiefs actually got to trade for Justin Fields, the Jets' starting quarterback from last season. They gave up a sixth round pick. They needed a good, solid backup because, of course, Patrick Mahomes' injury. It's unsure if he's going to be ready for Week 1. It's kind of looking like he's going to be. So they went out and got somebody that even if he's not ready, they're going to feel comfortable going into Week 1. His stats last year actually don't look that bad. He was on an awful Jets team. He had 9 starts with 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, and interception, and then an additional almost 400 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Justin Fields can win games, but he can't always win them in a pretty nice way. Sometimes it's ugly
Yeah.
wins. I've seen him as a Steelers starting quarterback. He started the first 6 games of the 2023 season for us, 2024 season.
24.
And it was not the best. It was not pretty. But he got us some wins. Um, but he makes mistakes. He's not
Yeah.
that perfect person.
He looks to make plays with his legs. This is a
Yeah,
guy. When he came out of college, if you also the Ohio State clip, and he's against, I want to say Clemson, he chucked it like 70 yards downfield and it was a beautiful throw. We
yeah,
haven't seen him do that in the NFL.
yeah,
He just uses his legs. But it's a great backup to have. You can't complain about a backup like this.
for sure. All right, here's your man.
Next guy we got Panthers going out and get Kenny Pickett. We moved off Andy Dalton, too old. We saw him play against the Bills when Bryce Young went down with an ankle injury. Wasn't pretty. They go and get a Kenny. Kenny wasn't bad. He wasn't good with the Raiders, but when he was with the Eagles, when he actually had he had to start because Jalen Hurts was hurt. He didn't play bad. He's not a like, oh my gosh, this guy, we're gonna lose this guy. We need to prepare. But he's a great backup to have if Bryce ever goes down, and I would trust him way more than Dalton. And I mean, I think he's a great backup. Because he was a Steeler for a little bit. That I mean, he's okay. He's just okay.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett can make plays when he has to. I think my most memorable memory of Kenny Pickett was that Christmas Eve game where he threw the touchdown to Pickens
Yeah,
against the Raiders and got us that win. He can win games. He's just not that guy that, like you said, we're going to sit and prepare for. We're not preparing for Kenny Pickett.
yeah,
He's just another guy in the league. But at this point in his career, I think he's got to go to a place where he can be that guy on the bat, where he is that guy that we look for as being a backup, not a guy we're looking for as the future.
yeah,
'Cause I think for the Steelers, for even for the Browns that summer, they was looking at him like he might be the future. And in these last two teams, he's just been kind of moving around. He needs a place where he can find a home and be that backup guy, like kind of like
Yeah.
what Mason Rudolph has been for the Steelers. We know Mason Rudolph. We know what he is. He's nobody we prepare for, but he's that guy that's always going to be there if we need him. I'm excited to see what Kenny Pickett can do in Carolina. So in Carolina, Andy Dalton, who you just mentioned, Carolina actually traded him for a seventh round pick this summer to the Eagles. So it's a new experienced vet for the Eagles. They've been missing that like experienced veteran that can come in and win games if Hurts was to go down. They've had a slew of guys. They had Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's probably the best one they've had in a while.
They
Uh,
had Tanner McKee,
yeah, so see,
Astro.
and
Yeah.
it's like younger people, so I think getting that guy that can sit back there and if Hurts was to get hurt, um, we get a guy that can come in and Andy Dalton can win games. I want you to talk a little bit about him because you've seen him the past 3 years.
Yeah. So we ended up getting him in 2023, and Bryce Young went down. It was his rookie year. He got hurt against the Saints on an ankle injury. He didn't play against the Seahawks at Seahawks. Dalton came in and threw 3 touchdowns. We were like, wow, he's not bad. Didn't play the rest of the year. 24, he came in, we benched Bryce, which is the greatest thing that's ever happened to Bryce. He came in, he beat the Raiders, and I was like, you know what Bryce has done? This guy's amazing. He played a couple more weeks, he just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
Turned to last year, he played in the Bills game, and he's just getting older. I mean, he's a Pro Bowler, he's a great guy with the Bengals when he was there, the Red Rifle for a reason. He was
yeah,
great, but he's fell off. But he's a great veteran presence to have. Hurts gets hurt, which we have seen a lot, but you just have to see. Flacco, you mean great backup, really great backup. He's going to stay in the league as long as he can to get his money. But it was 2023. He was with the Browns and he took them to the playoffs. He was amazing.
oh yeah,
Then
yeah, amazing.
to the next year after, he went to the Colts and he wasn't amazing. Comes to the Bengals last year. He's like a Brown and Bengal last year. He filled in for Burrow though. I remember this, and he wasn't bad. I mean, because Burrow's a guy that goes down a lot. This is a great backup to have. He knows the scheme. He knows the system. You got guys like Chase and Higgins there. Chase Brown. He has weapons. This is a great backup in my
Joe
opinion.
Flacco's a cool guy to keep around. He's
Yeah.
won a Super Bowl. He's seen good defenses. He's played against some of the best defenses. Um, it's good to have him there. And I think he can also, you don't really think about this at this point in their career, but he's going to be able to help Joe Burrow out. Joe Burrow has had a rough start to his career. Yes, he had a Super Bowl appearance, but Joe Burrow has been consistently injured. He needs a guy who can keep his head up, show him some more things he can do. And I think Joe Flacco can be that guy for Joe Burrow, that good mentor. I think they already have a good relationship. This is a good move to me to bring him back. Um, so then you get Tyrod Taylor going to the Packers. Tyrod Taylor's been that journeyman. He goes on a 1 year deal here. Four starts with the Jets last season, come in for a couple more. But he was not the best. 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but a good backup nonetheless. I thought that it was noteworthy for us to mention him because he's a guy that a lot of people like to know where he's at, so that way they can see. If
Yeah.
Jordan Love is out of game, you can go watch some Tyrod Taylor football. Tyrod Taylor football is fun. So I'm excited about that deal.
He's not a bad quarterback. I feel like he's always hurt though, and whenever he gets hurt, another quarterback steps in.
Yes. So Russell Wilson. So this is a big topic we're going to talk about. The Jets have made him an offer. The Jets have made him an offer. We're not sure what the price of that offer is, but they have made him an offer. But he also has an offer for TV. So he could retire and go ahead and go into TV. I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson does. Russell Wilson's one of my favorite NFL players. I've watched him since I was little. I've got to see him as a Steelers quarterback. Um, but man, last year just was rough for him. 6 games, only 3 starts, 0-3 in those games, 831 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now,
And those stats are very inflated from that Cowboys game where
yes,
they,
that's what I was about to
I don't know if
say.
they ended up
And
winning, but it was, ew.
and we can't judge him for everything with the Giants. It is the Giants, but coming from a guy who used to win Super Bowls, this is not what you want to see. It's time for Russell to give it up, but does he want to end his career
Yeah,
like that? If he doesn't want to end his career like that, go with the Jets. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't go to the Jets and be a backup to Geno Smith. If I go to the Jets, I go there with the intent that I'm going to start games, or if it looks like I'm going to lose, I'm going to go ahead and retire. And
yeah.
I'm going to go take that money bag and go into TV.
Now we're gonna start getting into some draft picks here, and of course, the number one pick, the Heisman, the national championship, Fernando Mendoza. He was great in college, and like this is a guy. I mean, he's first overall pick for a reason. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna win you a couple games. It might look rough because he's still young, but he's got his weapons. He's got Bowers and he's got GT. They drafted Jack Beck last year, and he's not horrible either. They have Trey Tucker. Once they get their weapons up, like next year, he will be really good. But I think the Raiders are in a good spot, and I'm glad they landed Mendoza.
Yeah, this is a cool move for the Raiders. Mendoza's a great guy, a great human being, and a great football player. Watching some of the stuff he did this past year was crazy. So I'm excited to get to see him in the NFL, and excited to get to see how it works out for the Raiders. NFL has not seen that good Raiders team. We talked about that yesterday. Raiders have not been good in a while, so I hope he can do something. I hope Kirk's able to help him, and I'm excited to see how that works out. So next up, Ty Simpson. This was kind of the surprise of the draft, going at the 13th overall pick to the Rams. This is Matthew Stafford's successor. I don't expect to see a lot of him this season, maybe not even the next season. But this was a good move for the future. We've seen him in limited games, only 13 games played in his
Yeah.
career, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Um, can he be a good quarterback? Yes, probably. And he's going to get to sit behind Matthew Stafford. Um, but it's going to be a while before we know. It's going to be. This is
Yeah.
one of those
The
Jordan
thing
Love
about
moves.
yeah, he has a great build. He has all the like skill sets you need to be a good quarterback. It's just if he can put it together.
Yeah,
His only year of playing football was the last year for Bama because he sat behind others, but he learned a lot of Bama,
yeah.
and we've seen that. And I think he'll be okay. And warning behind Stafford will also help.
So the
Carson
Card,
Beck, I mean,
yeah, Cardinals make a move here to go grab Carson Beck. He's going to sit behind Jacoby Brissett, sit behind Gardner Minshew, um, or is he going to start? What do you think, Carl?
uh, I mean, right now the word is he's looking okay in practice, but it's practice. But I think Brissett should be the starter, and I think they will move forward with Brissett as a starter. This
I
guy can
agree.
learn. He wasn't. I didn't think he was anything special at Miami. He definitely wasn't at Georgia. Miami he was okay, but like he's. I feel like he just gave it to Tony and let Malachi Tony do the work. He
Yeah,
did. He did go to the championship, so I can give him credit where it's due there. But he's very accurate quarterback too, so I can give you credit there. But nothing that jumps off the charts for me
I
that I
agree.
like
Yeah,
about him.
this is not a big move for me. This is kind of like the Stetson Bennett move the Rams made a couple years ago. I think he's a guy that's
Yeah.
going to stick around, but not be a guy we see start many games. So the Steelers drafted a quarterback. Um, this is a guy that I'm not a fan of. I didn't like him in college. Um,
I don't
and
blame you.
and it's just not to me, this wasn't the move the Steelers needed. Steelers needed to draft a quarterback. But why go get this guy? Is it just because went to Penn State? I'm worried that the Steelers are making moves like that just based on where they're coming from. Kenny Pickett from Pitt. And now you got a Lar from Penn State. Why go get this guy when there were so many others on the board? Hopefully they can take everything from Penn State, throw it in the trash, and install Pittsburgh into him. Mike McCarthy is the quarterback whisperer. He created Dak Prescott. He worked with Steve Young. He worked with Joe Montana. He worked with Brett Favre. He worked with Aaron Rodgers. We've seen him consistently work with those guys. Um, so I'm excited to see that, but I'm more excited to see Aaron Rodgers. I can't lie. This is not a move that excites me. I'd rather see Will Howard. I'd rather Mason Rudolph go out on the field for me. I'm not sending this guy out, but we'll see if that changes in the next couple of years.
This next guy fell to the seventh round, and I really can't tell you how. I know he has injury history and all that, but coming into this season, before the college football season started, I was like, "This is my guy. This is the guy I think is the best in the class."
Yeah.
Because Mendoza was great, but we didn't know he was going to do what he did coming out of California, transferring to Indiana. This guy, Garrett Nussmeier, has an incredible arm. He plays for a big time school. He look at his stats, just jump off a perfect passer rating, high yards, decision making sometimes not there, but I think he's a great quarterback. It's going to be hard for him to get above Mahomes, obviously, in Fields. But if he learns behind Mahomes, that's beautiful. Learns with Andy Reid, learns the tree, and then he goes somewhere else that could prepare him for NFL.
Yep, I agree. This guy was good in college. We can't deny that. And the Chiefs might have just done it again. In a couple years, this might be, that guy for the Chiefs. And that could be that good backup. I don't think we'll ever see him, consistently starting games because they have Patrick Mahomes. They don't need that guy. But for a team that where Patrick Mahomes is getting hurt now, it's good to have a good backup. So I think they're going to kind of mold him into what they want as a backup. So it's going to be exciting to see. So now it's time for our hot takes. This is a new segment. We hope you enjoy this segment. But it's going to be some flaming hot takes, and I think Cole's is first, so I'm going to get right into that.
Yeah, my hot take, it might not be too hot, but I think it is that Caleb Williams finishes the year as the MVP. His rookie year wasn't the best, decision making wasn't the best. You come into year two last year and off the charts, the weapons are great. They lose DJ Moore, but it doesn't matter when you have weapons like that. They drafted Burden for this reason. They have Adunze, Burden, Loveland. He has the weapons there. He's mobile. He makes magnificent throws. Probably the best playmaker besides Lamar or Allen.
Yeah.
I would say he's the best playmaker. He makes crazy plays. We saw in the Rams game in the playoffs. He won a playoff game, came back against the Packers down 21 and won that game. His stats here are perfect besides the QBR, but I think he's going to step up and probably win MVP or at least finish with some MVP votes.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. I'm excited to see how he plays. He's an exciting person to watch. Those playoff games were crazy. So I'm excited to see him, continue in this league. My hot take is that Jared Goff will digress majorly this season and that the Lions will eventually move on from him. Um, a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this one. 4,564 yards last season, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He had a good season, and he's consistently had good seasons, but we're starting to see that digression. Something that like we haven't seen with Matthew Stafford, something we haven't seen with those other guys. So I think he's going to have some major digression here. Am I saying he's going to leave the league and have to, be forced in retirement? No, but I'm saying it's almost his tenure with the Lions is almost done. If they don't have a good season this year, and I don't think they're going to, it's going to be time to look and say, hey, it might be time to move on from Goff. Let's go get us a young guy, and somebody who can make plays because everybody else on that team is younger. Goff is getting up there.
Yeah.
So that is my hot take.
I
Um,
mean, he's got weapons, which is good, but I think Campbell is a good coach, but his balls he calls, the fourth downs early in the game, killed him too much. Goff, you ever seen the guy over the hump? They're I think their window closed. The 23 and 24 and 25. They didn't do anything last year, but
yeah,
23, 24. 23, you get to the conference championship, you blow the game to the Niners. 24, you lose after technically it would be the second round, but the first round for them because they had a bye to the Commanders in Jane Daniels' rookie year. Those are games that needed to be won, and Goff couldn't get it done. He can't
yep,
perform in the playoffs, and that's what I'll say.
I agree. So thank you guys for watching. Like the video, turn on those post notifications down below, subscribe to us, and you can also follow us on our new Instagram account, Pruett and Pressley. That's all you have to type in. Comment below what you want for some different videos. We need some suggestions, and we're excited about making this content for you. Look out for another video later this week. Thank you guys. It's Blaine.
And call, we're out.